In January 2026, Amazon did something almost no technology company had ever done. It didn't buy chips. It didn't buy cloud infrastructure. It went directly to a copper mine. A direct agreement to buy metal straight from an Arizona mine. One of the world's largest technology companies, securing metal before it secured computers. One AI data center alone can use 50,000 tons of copper, more than some countries mine in a year. This is AxisShift. And before this video ends, you'll understand something almost nobody talks about. Everyone thinks the AI race is about chips. It is not, it's about tons. And if you hold BHP or Rio Tinto in your portfolio, you're about to see why that matters. Everyone talks about the chips, the GPUs, the processors, the compute. But a chip is useless until electricity reaches it. And electricity moves through one metal better than almost any other affordable material on Earth. Copper. Inside every AI data center, copper is everywhere. The power cables, the transformers, the cooling systems, the grounding grids. A single NVIDIA AI server rack, roughly the size of a refrigerator, contains nearly 2 miles of copper cabling. Now multiply that across thousands of racks, across hundreds of data centers. A conventional data center uses 5,000 to 15,000 tons of copper. A hyperscale AI facility up to 50,000 tons. One building, 50,000 tons of one metal. Enough copper to wire thousands of suburban homes. And technology companies are building these facilities all over the world. This year alone, the world's largest technology companies will spend around $750 billion building AI infrastructure. And JP Morgan estimates data centers will consume 475,000 tons of copper in 2026. Analysts estimate AI data center construction could absorb roughly the entire year's growth in global copper demand during 2026. And that would be manageable if the world could simply mine more copper. It can't. Chile produces around 1/5 of the world's copper. In May 2026, Chilean output fell 13% year-on-year, the 10th consecutive month of decline. Escondida, the largest copper mine on Earth, down nearly 18%. This is not one mine having a bad month. This is an entire ore base maturing at once. The richest surface deposits were mined decades ago. What remains is deeper, lower grade, and more expensive to extract. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, Grasberg, the world's second largest mine, remains under force majeure. Around 3% of global supply offline. And here is the number that matters most. A new copper mine takes 7 to 15 years to develop. The demand is arriving now. The supply cannot. In early 2026, copper crossed $14,000 per ton for the first time in history. Citigroup now forecasts 15,000. Goldman Sachs cut its supply forecast by 350,000 tons. The refined copper market, projected to be in surplus just months earlier, flipped to deficit. And unlike consumer electronics, where manufacturers can substitute aluminium, the high-voltage demands of AI infrastructure leave almost no room for substitution. The demand is inelastic, the supply is constrained, and the timeline mismatch cannot be engineered away. So what does this mean for you? If you live in Australia, you are sitting inside this story. Australia holds some of the world's largest copper reserves. BHP and Rio Tinto, two of the largest holdings in most Australian super funds, are at the center of this supply squeeze. When Amazon needed to secure copper directly, It went to Rio Tinto. The AI boom is not just a Silicon Valley story. It is a mining story. And Australia is one of its main characters. We told you about the rare earths. We told you about the chips. But every technology revolution eventually reaches the same place: the ground. Because before artificial intelligence becomes software, it begins as rock. Dug from the earth, refined, smelted, transported, installed. The AI race isn't built in Silicon Valley. It starts in a mine. Subscribe to AxisShift, because the world is turning, and you should know which way.